Hi everyone, welcome to the Python Basic Series. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about a function and types of arguments of functions. And before start, what is a function? So function, it is unique to first topic. A function is a reusable block of code. A reusable block of code that performs a specific task. Okay. So instead of doing it multiple times, we have to write it as a function, and many more times we can call the functions. So it helps to organize the codes and avoid any repetitions, and it makes the program more readable. So the advantage is it's very clear and structured and easier to understand it. Okay. So that is called it as a function. Okay. So many inbuilt functions in Python, and we have some rules to define a function in a Python. So you just start with the keyword. Okay, you have to start with a keyword def. Okay, followed by any function name. Followed by any function name. Okay, def is a keyword followed by any meaningful function name. Then open and close parenthesis. That is the parameter. The parameter are written inside the parenthesis. It is a option. And end of the parenthesis, we just make it as a colon. Okay. Then next line, it is the indentation is must. That is the post spacing indentation. Then we start the function body. So anything you can write inside this function body. Okay. Okay. The after two line spacing, how to call the function. Okay, by using a function name. By using a function name. Okay. So this is the way to write a function. Here there is no arguments. You just call a function. Okay. So it is coming, it's just for the syntax. Okay. So how to define means by using the def followed by any valid function name, then parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, we have to write a parameters of the functions. It is the option. And the end of the function definition, semicolon is there. Colon is. Then after four spacing indentations, you can write a function body. Once complete the function body inside the function, then two line spacing you have to give, then we can call the functions. And before start, the function name, we have some rules. So it can contain letters, numbers, or any underscores, but the function name cannot start with numbers or any special characters. At hash, any special character should not use it. Okay. So even no parameter, the parenthesis is the default one, it is required, and end you can make it as a colon. And function body indentation is required. We can return the value by using a return function. Okay. And now we start at the example, how we have to define def. For example, you can make grade. Okay, it's a function name. There is no argument, just make it a colon. Then body function body can print the any statements. Hello, you can print it. Okay. Then you can call the function by using a function name read. Okay. So you are getting a hello. Okay. This is the simple. If suppose the same thing without this, without calling, you just define your function, and if you have run, you are not getting any output. Okay, whatever, whenever you are writing a function, you should call the function, then only it is executable. Once only writing the function without calling, there is no output. Okay, so you should call the function by using a function name. Then inside that, the function body is executed and given as the output. Okay, so instead of writing, for example, if we have to define weight, okay, you are giving any names. Okay, you are giving the names. Argument you are giving as a names and colon. Okay, and if you are making as a some birthday party, you are called to all the friends in this function. So instead of making the multiple times the welcome note, the single time you can write it. Welcome everyone for the function. Everyone. Oh my. Right. Anything you can write. Okay, then you can call the function way. Only the grade you can call. You call your friends, whatever friends. Okay, you can call Radha. Okay, and multiple times you have to call any names or Nalan, like this. If we have to print it, sorry, these are the strings. So we have to specify this is the string, right? So you specify with the quotes. Name column. Okay. So welcome everyone for my functions. Okay. So like this, you can instead of giving a single time, okay, the common same functions, the multiple times you can use it. The repetition of the code, no need to write it each and every time. You can make it in a simpler way. Okay, that is the function. And next thing, this is the types of arguments. How we have different type of argument we can make it in the function. There are four type of argument. One is a positional argument, keyword argument, default argument, variable length argument. What is the positional? Okay, what is a positional argument? So we write positional means that argument, what you are causing, the parameter, the position should be matched. Okay, that is the positional argument. The position must match correctly, then only you are getting the output. Okay, so we go for one example for positional arguments. For example, we can make it a student. Okay, def function name student, and the student name and age you can give it as a parameters. Student name and age. Okay, and you have to print both student name and age. Okay, so just print it name equal to that name. Okay, what name you are going to print it, and similarly for age also. Print age. Okay. So you can call the function student and pass the argument. So what argument I have to pass? So I just make it there around. The age is 20. Okay. So we have to you are getting that the positionally pass the argument. You are defining a function, def student name, and a number of arguments. Sorry, this is the parameters of the function. And inside the body, I just make it a print statement alone, printing the name and age of the student. So I just call the student, and whatever the name and age, the name. If you have to position, if you wrongly typed it here, won't get it. Okay, the same thing. Okay, first you give the 20, then this also will execute, but it is not a correct answer. Okay, name is 20, age is wrong. So the positionally it should be now. That is a positional arguments. The next is a keyword arguments. Arguments are passed using a parameter names. Okay, so you can use that we are defining another function. You can make the employee any, okay, name and salary, for example. We define here with the two parameter function. Okay, and just print the name and salary. Okay, so just print the name and salary. To print a name and a salary. Okay, So what you have to call? You call the function employee, and this is call it as that the keyword argument. Okay, the order is not important. Okay, order does not matter. The parameter name decide the value assignment. Okay, so you can any order you can use it, but the parameter name you are use it. For example, first I have to use the second parameter salary. I just defined as that 1000 like this. Then I can use the first parameter name because the parameter here mentioned. So it is not required for the order. Okay, so we have to run. You are getting that name is Ram and salary is. This is the what argument? It is the keyboard argument. Okay. The next is that default argument. The next one, let us say a default argument. Okay, it is a default argument. That means another example we take def grade. Okay, for any name you can make it names or you can define here the default argument. The parameter you should define it. Okay, any parameter you have to define inside the parameter column. And here we print something. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Then you can call the function grade. Okay. So first I am using that. Now here the parameters I defined as a guest. But when you're calling a function, there is no argument I pass to the function. Okay. By default, it will take. The next, again, I call the function. I just find some name. That is, I just assign one. Okay. So the guest name will be replaced with the row. Okay. So the two statement. There is a default means whatever it is available, it will print it. Then the second one, the name argument we pass to the default, it replaces the default with the current one. Okay, replace the default. Okay, the next is that the fourth type, it is a variable length argument used when number of argument is unknown. Okay, this kind of argument. Number of argument is unknown. Many kind of argument, number of parameters we can use. Okay, that we are using the two method. One is that this is the variable length argument. Variable length argument, two types. Okay, so one is that star arc. Okay, it is that you store the values in a tuple. That is star arcs. The another type it is the double star KW arcs. Okay, there are two methods they are using. The first one, the values are stored as a tuple, and the second one, the values are stored as a dictionary type. Okay, so the keyword is a def, then a function name. Okay, def function name, then star and arcs. Okay, this is the syntax for the variable length argument. So this argument, many parameter you can use it. Okay, so we go for that another example. Okay, for this we can go one example. That is the def, for example, total. Okay, I just use it at star number, star numbers. Okay, if suppose in the variable means variable length argument, any numbers we can use it, not the particular 2, 3 like that, any kind of by using this star. So you just print the numbers, okay, and also you just make some another function, can make it the sum of the numbers. Sum is equal to sum of the numbers. Okay, the function using sum of the numbers means it will add all the numbers. Okay, like that I defining one function. I just call the function name total. Okay, so just to pass that values to the numbers parameter, the argument which I'm passing, I just make it many numbers, any kind of numbers I can make it here. Okay, not in the particular default or fixed size, any kind of number. In generic way, we can make it as a number and pass the multiple argument of the number. Okay, and we run it. Okay, so it displayed all the numbers and take the sum of the numbers. Okay, this is the variable argument. So here star argument store the values as a tuple. Okay, So we can pass the multiple values can be passed by using a single variable. The next is that keyword argument. That is keyword argument is it is double star. Okay. KW means keyword arguments. Keyword arguments. Okay. Here the same like this, but instead of that here it is passed as the keyword. Okay, wow. So it is a dictionary type. All the values stored as a data collect all keyword argument. It is stored as a dictionary type. Okay, let us see the example there. And for example, any student details, we take it as a student details. Okay, so the data double star. Example, some data I can make it here. Okay, I just print the data. Print the data. Simple function. Okay, def student name, function name, double star, keyword argument, keyword variable length argument with the variable and print data. Okay, I am calling the function student underscore details. Okay, here you are passing the argument as a keywords. Okay, for example, the data, student data is the name. Okay, any name of the student, any name of the student. Okay, and then another key values. This is key values name and age also, the student age. Okay, the age you can give, or you can give that any salary. Okay, the salary you can make it like this. Okay, or what city, any dictionary type you can make it like this. Okay, strings. So it is like this. Okay. This is the string, right? Like this, you can pass the argument. I just call the function student details, passing the argument to the data as a dictionary type. Name, that is the keys and values. Okay, the core data I have to pass. Name, age, salary, and city. So I just run it. It will print the dictionary. Say store the values as a dictionary. Okay, so these are the four type of arguments. Positional argument based on the order, keyword argument based on parameter name, and default argument. There is no parameter, default it will take it. And variable multiple argument if you want to use a star and a star arg and a star double KWR we can use. Okay, so we will discuss one more example by using the real-time example of some billing system. So just to make it active, make it as a bill. So we can make some items and prices. Okay, so I can make items and price. For example, prices like this. So we just define a function. Inside the function body, just make it a print. Print item. Okay, so print item. What item, how much price it is. Okay, what item, this item equal to how much price it is. Price. Okay. Like this, I just define a function. Now I just call the function. Then I pass that argument. Item is any items. For example, the book. We are passing the book. Okay. The next bill, I just pass it as the okay. It is a default price. It is given. Okay. The next is that a pen. Okay, I just pass that another value. Default will be replaced with the 10. So what you are getting for this? Okay, so the first item is book is equal to book we are passing. The price is default is 100. The next is pen is we can change it to the 10. So like this, any multiple or additions or calculation functions, anything you can define without the repeatedly using that multiple times. We define as a function and we can call it a function. Thank you.